What is up, RotoGrinders? We got an hour until lock. Tonight's four-gamer. The four-game main slate, of course, has been basketball all throughout the day for MLK Day. Happy MLK Day. Myself, two of the absolute best in the business. Two legends. It is notorious. Derek Farnsworth rocking the toque if you're in Canada. Or I guess beanie. We're calling that a beanie. Is that what you call it, beanie?
That's what I call it. Last time we called it a toboggan as well. Is apparently acceptable, which I didn't know. So, yeah, a toboggan, beanie, whatever fits your...
I thought a toboggan you ride. It's like a sled. Is that not a toboggan?
That's what I thought. And then we Googled it on the show, and I guess it can be both.
Chopper in his standard hat. Head Chopper, two-time $1 million winner. What's up, Chop? Happy Monday, a four-gamer. We're going to go game by game. We'll circle back if our favorite play is position by position, because this is not, it's an extended version of Grinders Live, if you want to call it that. No, it's a shortened version of Grinders Live, or it's an extended version of Crunch Time, however you look at it. But yeah, we're taking it all the way up the lock. It is a Monday. Chop, I didn't want to give I didn't do a movie today. I was going to. My apologies. I know, Chop, that's your thing. You love it, but I try not to do that on the Crunch Time because I don't want to, distract from, what the people want. The goods. They want the movie one day, but they want it, I think, typically more so during Grinders Live. Chop, happy Monday. How are things? Everything all good?
Everything's good, Dean. A little basketball, getting ready for a little national championship game tonight. The people in chat are trying to talk about my head. They're trying to say maybe I should embrace the full shave, but that's what Kirk says. But the thing is, Dean, as I've told Kirk before, this is I've got a full head of hair under here. It's just I'm just trying to keep myself anonymous so I don't get noticed in public. So I'm like LL Cool J, always wearing a hat. You know what I mean? So Kirk needs to stay in his lane right there.
Oh, wow. A lot of people pull off the shave. I mean, yeah, I don't know if it would work for you or not, but it's your head. It's your hair.
It's my head. It's my head, Dean. That's right.
Have you been stormed in public when your hat was off? Is that what I feel like people recognize you more with the hat because that's how they see it.
I had a bad incident one time at Top Golf. So yeah, now I stay in my I do my thing now. I keep a low profile.
Is that the same with you, Nono? Did you get swarmed when you hit the streets in Utah?
I mean, I've been noticed a few times, but not like regularly, no.
Yeah, you didn't have send out any warrants or nothing like that, or
what happened to Top Golf?
Chop?
Long story. We don't have time. We're on a crunch time today. We just gotta focus on basketball and college footsies, Dean. We got college footsies tonight, man. Dean, you're Miami Hurricanes. I mean,
they're not mine, but yeah, I can.
It's your neck of the woods.
I'm not too far. Yeah.
Are you rooting for him tonight?
I have financially, I put a wager on him, so yeah, sure, why not? Yeah, we're rooting for him. I'll watch the game. Do you like my chances? Do you like Miami's chances of flat out winning? Is that possible?
Here's the way I would describe it, Dean. This is college football is like this, not like the NFL. I don't even think the points matter. Miami is either going to win this game or Indiana is going to win this thing by 3+ touchdowns. It's hard to gauge that in college football, with competition and so many teams and all that. If Indiana's who they look like, they'll win this thing going away. But I still think Miami's got the better roster. I think Miami's the better team. So I think they got a shot tonight. Hey, Dean, this guy, their quarterback named Carson Beck, notorious for getting rattled sometimes and being a bad quarterback.
Yeah.
Sometimes he cannot pull a CJ Stroud here. He's got to give his defense, who's top notch. Got to give his defense a chance here, man. Can't pull the CJ Stroud in this one.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the time for that conversation on this show, but does Houston sign him to a long-term deal? Is that what you want to get married to for the next 5 years? Like, at best, the 11th best quarterback and a guy who peaked 2 years ago. Maybe he just really misses Tank Dell. I know that offensive line is shaky too, but interesting conversation. Bryce Young too, another interesting conversation. What Carolina's going to do with him, because do you want to sign long-term? Bryce Young, probably not. I think they have one more year to figure that out. But all right. Draymond Green was just ruled out, by the way. Draymond Green is not playing basketball tonight. He got the midday downgrade. Now he's officially out. And what else do we have here as far as we're waiting for Joel Embiid? Embiid's the big one. He's questionable. They already ruled out Paul George. It is the front half of a back-to-back. I think half of the teams, Miami, Golden State, Philadelphia, and Phoenix all are on the front end of a back-to-back. The only team in the back end of a back-to-back is Brooklyn, so they ruled out some dudes as well. We'll talk about them soon enough. No revenge for Paul George. Embiid is still questionable. That game tips off in an hour. I guess we'll know in a half hour. I suppose we'll know. We'll see. Maybe we'll skip that game until the end of when we go around, game by game, and possibly maybe we get news for Embiid, but probably not. Probably not. Otherwise, as far as what we're waiting for when it comes to who's in and who's out on the injury report stuff, really not a heck of a lot. We got George being out, Draymond being out. Booker is officially in. Teammate Jalen Green, there's a chance. I thought there's a chance he's going to come back tonight. He is not. Tyler Hero's he's got a rib. He's got rib issues. So he's not playing basketball for Miami. Big picture, Noto, any general thoughts before we do the old game by game?
Yeah, I mean, the injuries have helped, but this is not a fun slate, I would say. There's not a lot of plays that I'm excited about. So a lot of bad game environments, good defenses, slow-paced games. But everyone's dealing with the same slate, so, we'll do our best. And, yeah, I think Ron Holland's the only other injury. He's questionable, not a big impact on the slate whatsoever, but he's been decent the last couple weeks. But, yeah, I think it's kind of an ugly slate, but it should be a fun one to break down.
As far as value, we don't really have a ton of that. As things are projected right now, Moses Moody is the best value play currently on DK, a little bit less than 6x. And we're talking about 23 fantasy points at 4K. So for your cash games to consider, Tyrese Martin, again, this is not something you feel comfortable about, the backup point for Brooklyn, but we'll talk about them. He's a potential cheapie, but I don't know how comfortable that is. Choppy, got anything before we dive in game by game?
No.
Did not think so, but I don't want to be rude and not ask. Let's talk about, now again, 7 o'clock game, Indiana, Philly. We're just going to skip that and circle back. We'll circle back on it. We're going to knock them all out. Phoenix and Brooklyn, 214.5 to Noto's point. Not a very popular total, 214.5 for Phoenix taking on Brooklyn. Brooklyn does only have 10 bodies, if I'm counting correctly. They're 10-point dogs here. Again, we got Booker officially ruled in for Phoenix. He's dealing with that ankle. Jordan Goodwin also available with his mask, his jaw. That's been on there forever. Nothing's really changed. And Jalen Green is out with his foot. Yamor Yogan is not playing basketball tonight for Brooklyn, back half of a back-to-back. And who else is ruled? Oh, Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas ruled out. So, yeah, they're projected to be down to 10 here. Chop, how are we feeling about the Suns and the Nets?
Yeah, I have a little bit more interest in Brooklyn than I do on the Phoenix side. But, I guess it's all playable, relative. For Brooklyn, with the guys being out, I mean, Michael Porter Jr. obviously stands out as a fantastic player in general, fantasy terms. So he can get you some Michael Porter Jr. Then I like to go down in the salary a bit. I think Noah Clowney for me is a solid play tonight. So I'm on the Noah Clowney train, and then Nolan Traore. I think he's a perfectly fine 3,400. We don't have. Listen, I prefer a mid-range kind of build tonight with no huge spend up. So I don't know if I need to dumpster dive under 3,500K. There's really nobody jumping out, but Traore is definitely one that I could get behind. As far as Phoenix is, with Devin Booker playing, it doesn't leave a whole lot out there for you to love in this thing. But maybe Mark Williams grabbing some rebounds in this matchup is fine. Grayson Allen's okay every once in a while. Dylan Brooks can get hot from three-point range. I'm not in love with anybody in particular on Phoenix, though.
How about you, Noto? How do I feel about this game? This is 25% of the slate. Chop did not seem terribly enthused. I understand why he's not. Brooklyn is down to 10, which does seem somewhat meaningful. Jaeger Yeoman being out, Thomas being out there for Brooklyn. We're expecting, the starters to be Man, Powell, Porter, Clowney, Claxton, Martin, Traore, Wolf. These are guys that theoretically could get you there on the cheap, but none of them are really comfortable. Brooklyn versus Phoenix. What do you got? What do you got for me?
Yeah, not an exciting game, but it kind of feel that way about all of them, maybe except for the final game of the night. On the Phoenix side, Devin Booker, he's fine, but I say this all the time. He's had more than 50 fantasy points one time in the last 2 months. So at 8,800, he's not going to kill you if you don't play him in tournaments. I think he's okay in cash, but not really a guy that I'm prioritizing. And then to Chop's point, this is a good rebounding matchup. So Mark Williams, Iguodaro, I think they're probably my favorite options on Phoenix. Williams, both of these guys centers are very volatile, but they can both give you, 6x, 7x their salary. So I'll include them in if you're playing multiple tournament lineups, I would look at them. Outside of that, don't really love Phoenix. And then I agree with Chop as well. Noah Clowney's probably my favorite guy from Brooklyn. Nobody ever plays him. And if you look at his game log, he's very capable. He can score 35 plus on any given night. So with Day'Ron Sharp out, I think he makes some sense. And then it just comes down to which cheapie you preferred. Martin, Traore, Terrence Mann. I mean, I think any of them could get there. I'm not excited about any of them. And then maybe a little bit of Michael Porter Jr. He's been bad the last couple games, but he's still had 45 plus fantasy points in 5 of his last 8 games. So we only have him projected for 13%. Always a guy that could get there in tournaments. But overall, this is a really tough matchup for Brooklyn.
If you had to pick your favorite amongst the cheap nonsense, who's your favorite? I know you didn't seem to like any of them, but who's your favorite amongst the cheap Brooklyn nonsense?
Yeah, I'm just looking at their game logs. Probably Traore. I mean, back-to-back 20-plus fantasy point games. But it doesn't feel great.
Chop, you got a favorite amongst that? We don't have a lot here to pick from, but as far as your favorite cheap Brooklyn guy, it doesn't sound like you're on any of them necessarily. You were talking about builds in the mid tier where you probably can avoid all these guys.
If I had to, it'd be Traore, but I won't. I have one lineup tonight, and I doubt that he's on it, and he's my favorite from that side. So, yeah, that just tells you what I think about him. Don't like him.
Brooklyn plays slow. Traore by 0.66 DK fantasy points per minute. It's not much to get excited about there. Powell 0.64 worse, right? Martin 0.81. None of it's necessarily great. Porter, of course, their best, but you got to spend up for him. And it feels like his minutes he's not been getting full on minutes of late. And I don't know if they're going to be, they're probably, they're aware of, they want to lose Cam Thomas. They've been subduing his minutes. I think the days of Porter playing upper 30s might be simmering. We'll see. But 3 games in a row, 32, 31, 33. I don't know. I feel like that you're kind of paying for a ceiling, and I'm not sure if you can get 38 minutes out of him. Anything else here, boys, as far as Brooklyn and Phoenix? Moving along. Next game up. Yeah. We'll talk about Indiana Philly at the end. It probably is not going to matter because we'll say Boston, Detroit, 233.5 is the total here, Chopper. Detroit is a 3-point favorite, so it's pretty high and it's tight, right? So theoretically that is interesting, but Boston is really healthy. Pritchard's available with his ankle. Even Chris Boucher's ankle is available just for fun with his back. Minot's out, but that's nothing new. Don't look now, but Jason Tatum's coming. He's coming. He's still out, but he's coming. It's happening. There's videos out there of him working out pretty hard. Detroit is questionable. Holland is questionable for Detroit with his illness. He had the fish, but otherwise they are fully healthy. So it's like an appealing environment to some degree, Chop, but these teams are essentially fully stocked. All the pieces they've used throughout the season are essentially available. Holland doesn't really matter so much. What do you got, Chopper?
What do I got, Dean? Here's what I got for you. On paper, this doesn't look particularly appetizing, right? Like these two defenses both of them are top 3 fewest points allowed per game. Like that's not good. Boston plays at a snail's pace. They just don't turn the ball over. They don't give you. They're like the anti CJ Stroud. They're not going to give you any turnovers in the transition game. So it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough pickings in this game. But so I'm not in love with it in general. But if you twisted my arm on one side, Cade Cunningham, and I'm not going to spend up at this price range, but in this game, I think he's perfectly fine if you did want to. Just the one way you might be able to attack him is him get hot from the 3-point line. He's got a well-versed game anyway. He can do a lot of different things. So maybe on Cade Cunningham. The one guy I do kind of like, and I think might make my builds tonight, currently he would be in my builds, is Derek White. Because even though, Detroit plays a pretty good defense, he's done pretty well against them this year. A lot of it is due to the fact that they are kind of reckless with the ball a little bit, so he can rack up some defensive stats in this game. He can get hot from the 3-point range. He has that kind of upside. He's good in the paint too. He can get to the paint a little bit, and sometimes you can beat Detroit like that. So I think Derek White's my favorite play in this game in general. Will probably make my builds. Not in love with anybody else in this game, but you could twist. Yeah, I mean, you could twist my arm on Jaylen Brown just about any night if you had to. But if I had to choose between Brown and Cunningham tonight, I think I'm rolling Cunningham.
Yeah, I'm always fine landing on Brown if it's a last man in, that kind of thing. If I had the salary, okay, sure, and it doesn't hurt the rest of my lineup. Pretty solid floor there. Chop, you mentioned Cunningham, Maxey, Curry. Maxey's sure so much predicated. It would really, jump up if we lose Embiid. Embiid currently questionable. We did lose Paul George, so Maxey does project the most right now as far as raw points. All things considered, Chop, Maxey, Cunningham, Curry. How would you rank those three?
Like that entire question depends on Embiid. No Embiid, and I would play Maxey. If Embiid is in, I would love Embiid tonight if I think he's healthy, and that would shift me to Cunningham.
Yeah, so Philly plays tomorrow as well, and they play on, I think, Thursday. So this is kind of I was looking at their schedule. Yeah, so this will be like the beginning of 3 and 4. So I think Embiid's going to rest one of these games for sure. And I think George probably plays tomorrow. I'm somewhat surprised he doesn't play tonight against his old team, but I'm just sort of guessing it out, and that just sort of makes sense. Like you can't imagine. I can't imagine Embiid's going to play versus Indiana, Phoenix, and Houston, and maybe they save Embiid for Houston, and they're going to give him off one of these 2 nights. If he doesn't play tonight, he'll play tomorrow maybe. But I think he sits tonight and maybe plays tomorrow, but I don't know. Stay tuned. We will know at some point because that is the first game. That's a 7 o'clock game. No, jump in here. Your thoughts as far as Philly and Indiana. Wait, no. Why did I change games? My apologies. Boston and Detroit.
Yeah, I hate this game. If I'm, I build one lineup a night. I'm not playing anybody from this game. So I don't know. Both teams are healthy. Chop mentioned both top 3 in points allowed per game. Boston dead last in pace per game. So there's just not a lot to love here. Cade Cunningham could always get there. Jaylen Brown's finally above 10K. We've kind of been clamoring for that all season, but don't want to spend a premium on him in a bad matchup. I wanted to play some Simons before the Pritchard news, but I don't think we can pay $5,500 for him in this spot. And then Detroit side, I don't know. It's basically Cunningham playing big minutes and everyone else is playing minutes in the 20s, and that's just really bad for DFS. So I don't think I'm getting to anyone here. And then if I'm ranking those 3-point guards, like you mentioned, I'm going to go Curry, Maxey, and then Cade Cunningham. And then Maxey jumps to number 1 if Embiid's out too.
Yeah, I think Maxey pretty clearly would jump to number 1 if we lose Embiid, and we'll find that out soon enough. Anything else here, Noto, or shall we scoot along to the last game and then we'll circle back and talk about Philly? We've already kind of danced around Philly and the Pacers, but otherwise we can move along and talk about the hammer that is the Heat and the Warriors. Yep. Good to move on?
Yep.
Miami is in Golden State. 238.5 is the total. It's a pretty big boy total. We know Miami does play fast. They're 6-point dogs here. This also, just understand, it's 2 hours afterwards. It's an island game. So I don't think there's going to be anything goofy. We pretty much know, unless we get another Jimmy Butler situation. And we've seen Jimmy Butler duck the Heat before. It's happened before. But this is, and I don't know what happened. Like they had a personal issue, like basically as they were announcing the lineup, like I think it was officially locked in. Apparently everything is all clear and good to go. Steve Kerr said that's not going to happen again. So hopefully everything is all good with Butler, and we're going to have no shenanigans with this game because, again, it's all by its lonesome. We know Tyler Hero is out with his rib. Jaime Jaquez, he's got a knee, but he's expected to be available. Jovic, he's got an illness, but he's expected to be available and good to go. Pelly Larson, he's got that finger. He's going to play with his finger. We're expecting Davion Mitchell to be back as well with his shoulder. So Miami getting healthier just really without Tyler Hero. Golden State, downgrade of Draymond Green. Draymond not available with his ankle. He's out. Otherwise, Seth Curry is not available. Santos not available. Melton not available. But the one big one there is Draymond. No. Heat, Warriors. What do you got?
Yeah, finally get a good game environment. The Heat number 1 in pace, 22nd in points allowed per game. Then you get Draymond out too. So I think the Golden State Warriors make a lot of sense. They project very well. Chop, Bobby, and myself all tagged Jimmy Butler, and we basically wrote the same thing. You might not ever meet a more vengeful player than Jimmy Butler, so you might as well play him tonight. Even if you don't like the revenge narrative, then you still got the matchup, and he's been really consistent. It's a pretty good price point too. So I like Butler. It's a rare slate where I will play Butler with Curry. I usually like to just do a max of one with those two, but I just think the other game environments are so bad that I don't really mind playing those two together. Moses Moody for value. Al Horford might see 2 or 3 extra minutes with Draymond Green out. Yeah, Pods could see a couple extra minutes. As Chop like to say, Buddy Hyde is gonna, 3,300 off the bench. Sign me up for that. He can get you 20 plus. So I mean, I think you can play a ton of guys on the Warriors. Then on the Heat, they're just not a team that I play a ton of when they're healthy. They have so many good players, but I do like Davion Mitchell, 20 plus in 6 of his last 7 games. Probably going to see 30 minutes in a good game environment. 4,700 just feels too cheap for him. Everyone else, I mean, I'm fine with Powell, fine with Adebayo, fine with Wiggins. If you want to play the double revenge narrative, you can. Yeah. So yeah, I like this game a lot. I'm probably going to have, most of my roster spots saved for the very end of the night.
You're basically stacking this game up.
Yep.
Chop, Miami Golden State, are you also enthralled?
Yeah. Well, I wrote that in the survey. I was like, I'm gonna make sure I have plenty of these last couple of games on the board. I kind of like them, at least this game for sure. But the Jimmy Butler, we all tagged Jimmy Butler in the lineup HQ, Dean. I do want to say I was the first one to tag him today. I was up early, wrote it up early. I saw that from a mile away. I was, laying in bed at 8:30 and sifting through the player pool and figuring out what I was going to do as I scrolled through my phone in my underwears in my bed. When the doorbell rang, it was the dog groomer, Dean of all people, coming all early to watch the dog, man. Like 8:30 in the morning. That's kind of early, guys. So I had to rush and throw some clothes on and get my dog out, get my dog to go pee in the backyard and take him there. And then I was
like the cable guy? What kind of window does the dog groomer give you? How many
8 to 10, but usually they're even later than 10. She's always running really late. And this time she's early. So dog's getting washed. So I was like, let me sit down at the computer nice and early and put in some tags here. And I found Jimmy Butler for sure. So I like Jimmy Butler tonight. Absolutely. And just like Noto said, some of those cheaper guys. Yeah. I mean, if you're in need of that kind of value, sure. Moses Moody and those guys, I think are perfectly fine tonight. I actually like the Miami side here. I definitely like Norman Powell. Definitely like Norman Powell without Tyler Hero. Won't play him with Tyler Hero active, but without him, I'm going to be all over Norman Powell. I think he's a high upside player in this spot. And then I like the price tag on Jaime Jaquez a lot. I like a guy at this price range that can go out and get you 35 if the things break right for him. I know he's, maybe questionable and all that other stuff, but assuming he plays and we're going to have, and if you're rostering him and then he gets, something happens to him, well, make sure you got $400 left over if that's your last guy. And that way you could just pivot up to Wiggins or something like that. But I like Jaquez in this price range quite a bit. So, yeah, I like this game, just like Noto said.
Who's your favorite cheapie in this game? Like Moody, Horford, I'm trying to see who else would qualify. Larson.
Well, is 4,700 cheap enough?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm trying to think if Jaquez is considered a cheapie or not. He's on the fringe. I guess
he's
Jaquez
fringe.
Yeah,
he's fringe, but if it's 4,700 or below, it's Davion Mitchell. If you want me to go below that, it's probably Moses Moody.
The stuff that I ran, we're waiting for stuff for some Philadelphia news. And Moody is the most popular player hitting my lineups right now on DK. And the second most popular is Al Horford. And I don't know how I feel about it if Al Horford tends to be kind of chalky. And we'll kind of see how that turns out. And a lot of that is predicated on what happens in Philly, I think. But that's what I'm seeing right now. Do we like, if it turns out that way, do we like Horford as a chalky piece?
I don't know. I mean, he's not going to play more than 22 minutes, I don't think, regardless if he starts or comes off the bench. So he's fine to just plug in there. I don't feel great about him. I might rather play like Gary Payton. Like, he can put up some decent outings. Like, he's not going to play big minutes either, but he's averaging over a fantasy point per minute this season, and he can get you 25.
I mean, to be clear, Horford's 4-2 on DK. We're projecting 22 minutes and 23 fantasy points, so it's nothing special. It's just, the overarching point in this slate right now is that it's not great. There's not great environments. There's not great value, and you got to make a big spend or two work. You got to look at somebody like Horford potentially. Can we check in on producer Steve? The Knicks are down like 30 at the half at home versus the Mavericks. Is that Steve?
Are you serious?
Did you bet this game?
I'm glad I didn't bet. I was thinking like last night, I was looking like, oh man, I'm good because they can't lose another one. They've been struggling so much. I guess they can.
I don't know what's going on with them.
Fire everybody.
Fire.
I don't know what changed. I have no idea what changed.
You fired Tibbs, man. Can't do that.
We were done with Tibbs.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have been done with Tibbs. I don't know. I'm just saying. Tibbs was he would grind you out a nice top 3 seed in the East. I know that much. I don't know.
There's this new thing of like firing coaches that have been pretty good. Like we're seeing the NFL as well.
I mean, I get it. I like it. And yeah, the NFL. Oh man, bombshells in the NFL, right?
I don't get it. Like, and there's not like a Ben Johnson in the wings as far as I know. Like, who's going to replace these guys? Whatever. We don't have time to get into it, but
we do. We only got 4 games. We got plenty of time, Dean.
Let's knock out Philly and the Pacers. Again, the cloud of Embiid still kind of looming, still kind of lurking on this slate. Theoretically, we should get the news like right now. It's a half hour before the game officially starts. Embiid is questionable with his knee. They already ruled out Paul George. They did call up Jared McCain. McCain was in the G League because he wasn't really getting much run with the big boys because everybody was healthy. Oubre's back as well with his knee. As far as the Pacers, Matherin's still out. Toppin's still out. Chop, I'll let you start us off here as far as Philly and Indiana. And again, a lot of it's an if-then situation as far as what happens here with Embiid. Which again, we should be getting that news soon in a second. Maybe not.
Yeah, so it's an interesting game to kick off the slate. I'm looking at the Indiana side is not a whole lot I love. I didn't necessarily highlight anybody that I'm going to jam to make sure to put in my rosters, but Jay Huff's been playing really well lately. If you want to go that route, I don't know if you're into that kind of thing. Neesmith is always fine. Nembhard's okay. Siakam's a little bit pricey on DraftKings at least, but he's always fine. Philly's nothing. There's nothing about Philly that's off the charts good or great. They're okay. It's the Philly side, man. If Embiid gets ruled in, we think he's fine.
He's in.
He's in. Okay, Embiid is in.
Not good. Not good for my underdog teams. I have a lot of like fringy Phoenix Philadelphia guys. Nobody cares about my underdog team.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, but Embiid he jumps up now as being like one of my favorite spend ups. If like in terms of just if I were to spend up on a player tonight, Embiid might be that guy. It's just a good matchup for him. I've said it before. It really looks like Indiana is this funnel to the inside. They really suffocate you on the 3-point line and make you go inside. And Embiid still has that in him, even though he does like to shoot a lot of 3-pointers these days. He can still post up. So I like that aspect of it. Indiana's going to give up a lot of rebounds. He's still a double-digit rebounder. So I do like Embiid quite a bit. It hurts Maxey. A couple of reasons, not just Embiid, but taking away some usage. But obviously this matchup is going to probably hurt his 3-point shooting. If I was in the prop streets, I'd be like under on Maxey 3-point field goals, even though he still has room to get there in DFS because he's still a pretty good penetrator and gets to the rim. And that's what he'll try to do more of tonight, I think. But I like Embiid quite a bit in this game. And it kind of rules out some of these other guys you were talking about for Philly. And then I told you what I liked on the Indiana side. I don't really love it, but you can throw a Jay Huff in there and feel okay about it.
Well, the thing with Huff is, like, you got to lean into the variance. You got to give him a projection. He's got a projection, but he's more so than most any other player in the league. He is floor and ceiling is as big as anybody as far as the difference. We saw him hit, 50 fantasy points the other day and right back down to 15.
Love it for GPP. That's the kind of guy I like for GPPs.
I don't like him when he's popular, but I like him when he's not popular, right? That's kind of why I don't think I played him on the slate where he was popular and dropped a 50. So that was a tough scene for your boy. It is Timothy John's revenge game here. TJ McConnell, his 17th revenge game against Philadelphia. He's still really angry. Noto, Embiid in? How does that change things for you?
Yeah, I think Embiid's a great play. I still think Maxi's fine. I like Chop's point on the 3-point shooting, though. Indiana, they've allowed the third fewest 3-point attempts, and then they've allowed the second fewest or the second lowest 3-point percentage so far this season. So it's a really bad matchup from the 3-point line. I still think Maxi could get there, but I do like Curry more on a per dollar basis. You can use that 800 somewhere else. Like Embiid, that's pretty much it for Philly. The Edgecomb's just a little too expensive for me. And then the other guys just don't stand out. Indiana, the chat's talking about some TJ McConnell revenge. He's a guy that can always get there. Like I don't know, kind of like J Huff. Like he's going to play his 18 to 20 minutes and he can get you 40 every once in a while. But you're going to be eating a lot of bad outings in between that 40 burger. As for J Huff, man, I used to play church ball and there was a dude that had shoulders just like this. I don't know if you're pulling up his picture in the lineup HQ, but nobody wanted to guard the dude because it was always wet, hairy shoulders, and he's just an auto bucket underneath.
Steve's zooming in for you.
So maybe he's doing that on purpose.
So gross, man. The hairy back shoulder thing is gross to play against.
We got to do a drop the Along Came Polly now, right? Do we have the gif of that? I think they kind of it wasn't necessarily Philip Seymour Hoffman. It was the guy who was guarding or Ben Stiller.
Why does that guy with the hairy shoulders and back always be the one who wants to go shirts and skins and be skins? Always. You can't forearm him in the back. That's gross enough, much less actual full body contact. It's terrible.
Let him right through.
Yeah, he can have a shot, man.
There it is. Here we go. Producer Steve's on top of it. We're giving 23 minutes to Huff. You just don't really know. Bradley, we're giving him 6. They signed him again to another 10 days, sticking around. And they have Potter. You can get in foul trouble with Embiid as well. So who really knows how that? There's just some volatility with the Pacers rotation. We dig at the starting lineup. Sixers are starting Maxey, Edgecombe, Oubre, Barlow, Embiid. Holland officially in for Detroit. So Detroit is fully healthy. I saw a question in chat. Get your questions you want to prioritize. Get the Discord channel, RotoGrinders.com/Discord, the live stream chat channel. And we're going to circle back and give our favorite plays position by position. We'll save some time for questions from the chat. But since we brought it up here, Steven's got a question for you, Noto. DK tournaments, like Oubre or Huff? Oubre or Huff?
Well, how many minutes are we expecting for Oubre?
I think I'm going to say about 28, I'm guessing. That's my guess. I'll look, though.
30. 30? I guess I would go Oubre, but the game log is ugly.
Yeah. I mean, we're expecting 23 for Huff, but he's a better fantasy point minute player. And, yeah, it's tricky. Huff feels like he's a little more, like we said, if you want to lean in the volatility, you can do that. Somebody in chat says, I'm a hairy shoulders guy. I'm not a hairy shoulders guy, but that's fine. Interesting speculation. Chop, who's the odd man out? Justin wants to know odd man out. Powell, Steph, Butler, or Embiid? Who's the odd man out amongst those three? Steph, Butler, Embiid. Well, Powell's like the worst when you go raw point.
I like Powell, though.
Powell.
Yeah, I like Powell.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was going to, honestly, Noto talked about him earlier as liking him. I don't like him as much, and that's Steph Curry. So he'd be my odd man out.
No, you talk about Booker like never having those like monster ceiling games. Never. Steph's kind of the same way. Isn't Steph always a little bit overpriced? Like typically, do you not feel that same way? That's the way I feel.
I mean, lately for sure, but he's got way more 60+ fantasy point outings than Booker does. But yeah, the last couple of weeks it's been pretty mediocre.
He's 37, Steph, right? He's getting up there. He's still doing his thing, but not exactly what he once was, but still pretty awesome. Okay, let's circle back, give our favorite plays position by position. Again, jump in that Discord channel if you want your questions prioritized. Otherwise, we'll answer them at the end. Let's have like DK drive the conversation, guys. You know, DK drives the conversation, but if there's something distinctly different that's worth pointing out in FanDuel, be it like they're too cheap over there, too expensive over there, they pop over there for whatever reason, please point that out. We want to appease FanDuel players as well. But Chop, if I ask you your favorite point guards tonight, what do you got for me?
Yeah, so I'm just going to name the point guards, and I know a lot of this stuff carries over to shooting guard too, but whatever. Maxey's okay. Cunningham's okay. I think they're fine for spinning up on one. I think my favorite is Derek White. in general from top to bottom, with Traore being my favorite salary saver at the position. Davion Mitchell, if you consider him a cheap salary saver, he'd be up there too as a salary saver. But that's about it.
We did get an update, our ownership projection updated as of about 5-10 minutes ago or so. So if you guys are on Lineup HQ, do hit that refresh button. Noto, give me some of your favorite point guards. Again, feel free to point out anything different on FanDuel, and then jump on over to shooting guards.
Yeah, I like Curry. If you're spending up, I'm okay with Maxey. Probably not going to be on Cunningham. I think it's a pretty good position to save on DraftKings. Love Davion Mitchell, Traore, and then Martin too at 3,100 if you're doing the Sergeant Scrubs thing. On FanDuel, it's pretty much the same. Peyton Pritchard's really the only difference. He's more in play over there on FanDuel. Not a guy that I expect to get a lot to, but he's only 6,600. And then shooting guard, like Moses Moody on FanDuel and DraftKings, really cheap. Could play 30 minutes in a pace-up spot at home. Chop's been talking about Norman Powell. Certainly no issue with him in any format. Hawkes is there as well. And again, I'm going to be underweight on Booker in tournaments. I think he's fine for cash, but super large field, like cheap guy, Gary Payton. I think he can get you 20 plus tonight.
Chat, Randy is saying DK says Embiid is out. I just went and checked. They have the green check mark for Embiid, so maybe you got to refresh, or I don't know where you're at. We have the official starting lineup as well. Embiid is in, so as a general rule, just so you know, do not DK as far as who's in and who's out and who's questionable. Their information tends to be behind, so I would not use that as that's not where I would go to check lineups and who's in and who's out. But they do have the green check mark on Embiid, so he is in. Okay, Chop, shooting guard, jump to small forward.
Shooting guard. There's a lot of similar stuff. Powell, I said. Hawkes, I think, is phenomenal. Derek White again. Moses Moody. So I like VJ Edgecombe, but I don't like the price tag, on DraftKings that much. But I do like VJ Edgecombe tonight. That's about it. Like, you want to go totally off the rails and save some money, just high large field GPPs, Duncan Robinson, and hope you get hot with the 3-point shots against Boston. That's about it. Small forwards, Powell, Hawkes, Porter Jr. is good if you can spend up on that. Jimmy Butler's for sure one of the first guys I'm putting in my lineup. Some of the same names are popping up. Asir Thompson in a struggle game right there. You never know that defense might come into play for him, and there's not a lot else after that at this position.
No. Both small and power. Give me all the forwards.
Yeah, so Jimmy Butler, number one by far in terms of what I'm looking to force into my lineups. Then Moses Moody. I think they're probably the two best point per dollar options on the board. Norman Powell's here. Andrew Wiggins, if you want to play the double revenge narrative, he's not a guy that I love playing, but a little bit of a boost with Hero out. You got Al Horford at 4,200. Hawkes. I think a lot of people are going to play Siakam. He could be a little bit interesting against Philly. And then Chop, I see you have Terrence Mann tagged. Do you still like him at all?
Let me pull up Terrence Mann real quick for you.
With the dog groomer, you were tagging Butler and Terrence Mann.
Something jumped out to him. Something jumped out. With the absence of all the guys, I do still like Terrence Mann. The absence of the guys they're playing with, something jumped out to me when I was waiting on the groomer to finish my dog. Something got in my brain right there, pulling up all the stats. So yeah, I'm still good with Terrence Mann.
Were you done with all the forwards there, Noto, or you just wanted to ask about Mann? Because
I was curious because nobody's gonna play him. I think he's gonna be lower owned than Traore and Tyrese Martin, so he could be an interesting tournament play.
What about power forwards, Noto?
Yeah, I talked about most of them. Got Horford, Wiggins, Siakam. I think they're fine. Hairy shoulders in tournaments, and then really like Noah Clowney. We talked about him a little bit. Sharp's being out, so that helps. I think he could play 30 minutes in this one, and he's volatile, but he's got a high ceiling.
I was listening to one of the players talking about Chop, remember, I'm sure. Maybe Noto as well. Remember Drazen Petrovic? You remember Drazen. Remember Petro? One of the original Euros? He was awesome.
Yeah.
And they were saying he stunk. Like he smelled. Nobody wanted to guard him.
He did it on purpose.
What's that?
He did it on purpose.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of an edge, right? You know, and he was an incredible shooter. Nobody wanted to man him up because he didn't smell.
Every team has one dude that just smells bad.
Well, Petro was that guy back in the day for I guess that was New Jersey, right? Chop, power forward, and then jump to center, please.
Yeah. Butler, Clowney, Huff, the guys we've talked about, and we'll continue. So then we go to center. So this was the center spot is the toughest by far for me. Like I've got Claxton in my placeholder, but don't love it. Probably want to switch it out. Embiid is definitely good, but I don't know that I can afford 9,400. But Embiid's a really good play if you can. And we talked about Huff, and Adebayo is fine, and then Claxton was the other guy, the only other guy that really jumps out to me as being an okay play. I think it's a really thin position that I'm trying to save money on, and I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I think Claxton. I think I'm going to rank them Claxton, Embiid, Huff, and Bam.
Alex in chat is saying, who on the RG crew is that smelly guy? We did have RG basketball games. I know both you guys did participate. Do you recall? You want to out yourself? No. You remember who the smelly guy was? It Kirkwood? Was it Kirk Dees? Who was it?
I don't remember any weird smells, but I do remember watching it back. Like while I was in the game, I was like, man, this is a pretty intense game. And then I watched it back and was like, oh my gosh, weird, terrible. That's all I really remember. And somebody hit a game winner over Big T. Can't remember who it was.
Jennings, Smizzle was playing. I mean, there's been several games over the years, but
Somebody said Grant is the smelly guy. Grant smells pretty good.
Yeah, Grant smells fine. I can confirm. He looks, book and a cover, all that kind of thing. Yeah, Chop, you have any memories of? I think you participated, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, for sure, I participated. For sure, it wasn't me that smelled because I make sure. I'm nice. I'm one of those guys who takes a shower before the game. I don't,
Respectful.
Yeah, very respectful. I mean, if I had there was several candidates for that role, but I mean, I'd probably lean on a guy like Kyle Murray. He is sneaky.
Oh,
sneaky smelly.
Sneaky smelly.
Like he looks clean cut, but maybe it's intentional. But yeah, and that's why Kirk had to hip check him one time.
Kirkwood prison rules, man. He's out there.
Who was the one guy that showed up to the very first one really drunk and he was like running into people?
Fantasy Nomad.
Yeah, you go.
Oh,
I don't know where I pulled that from, but yeah, there you go. That's
the number one. You hate to have to guard the guy with the hair shoulders, right? You hate that. But number two guy you hate to be guarded by is the drunk guy at the yard. And I was drunk. I was being guarded by the drunk guy. No matter what day, I remember that. Reeking, just every time he breathes on you, you're reeking. You're awful.
Oh, it was JSU that hit the shot.
Is that who it was?
Yeah, shout out to Brittany J.
There you go. She was just speculating, looks like, but that's actually what happened. JSU.
Yeah, and then they were talking shit, and then he ended up going to work for him like a month later.
He earned his respect, I suppose.
Yep.
I apologize. Did everybody talk about centers? Did you talk about centers? No, I don't think you did.
I like Embiid, and then Horford on FanDuel. And if you're saving on DraftKings, I like Iguodaro. Good rebounding matchup. 3,400. He can get you 20, I bet. I'm hoping.
Do hit that like button, subscribe, turn on those notifications. We got about 13 minutes until lock. Get your questions in. If you have them in the YouTube, feel free to fire them away. Now, I guess I will scroll up, but ideally, you put them in the Discord channel. Those are prioritized, rotogrinders.com/Discord, the live stream chat channel. Most of our Discord channels are free. That is a free channel. Oh, plums. We want to give the people plenty of time to adjust with the plums. Noto, who is your plum play of the night?
I'm going to go Davion Mitchell.
Chopper, see Davion Mitchell, raise him.
Yeah, I mean, so it's coming from the Heat. I don't want to give the obvious Norman Powell. Love Norman Powell. So I'm going to go Jaime Jaquez. I don't think he's going to get appreciated quite enough. I'm going to go Jaime Jaquez to put up one of the big games tonight.
We got 2 players there for Miami. Joseph wants to know how much Jimmy is too much Jimmy. Do you guys feel good about Jimmy that much? I assume you guys are each playing probably one lineup. So it sounds like he's in both your lineups. Is that where we're at? Noto is nodding his head and Chop is nodding. But like theoretically, Chop, if you're running 150 or 20, what % Jimmy you think you'd have tonight?
Over the field. So I mean, honestly, 4 games. I don't hate not putting a restriction on Jimmy at all. And if it came out 100%, it did. That's just so be it. It's only 4 games. It's not a lot to choose from. He's a good price tag. If it was some and to get over the field, what are you going to do? He's going to be 40 to 50% owned, depending on what you're in. What am I going to do? Nickel and dime. Oh, let me get 60, so I'm 20% over. Just go ahead and lock him in, man. Really get over the field.
We have Jimmy at 43% on FanDuel ownership. That's a big boy number, one of the biggest numbers on the slate. And then Jimmy at 33% on DK. Let's see. Yeah, Ramazan asking about Movie Monday. Yeah, I typically don't do it on the crunch time because we want to get the news and the information out to the people. That's kind of prioritized. Alex wants to know, this is for Noto. DK Cash, Noto. You got to hold your nose on this one. Better value piece amongst the two. Yet Traore or Martin. Which one do you prefer amongst the nonsense there on Brooklyn? We got to pick one of these cheapies. Who is it?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Traore. I just think he's shown more recently.
All right, Chop. I got a 3v3 in the YouTube. Justin wants to know DK tournaments, Chopper 3v3. So put the old thinking cap on. Traore, Bam, Embiid. So 2 studs and Traore, or 3 mid-tier guys, White, Williams, and Claxton.
Oh man, I'm in GPPs. I want that second one. I'm going that number 2, White, Williams, Claxton.
Let's see. This is specifically for Chop. Powered One wants to know, Will Richard or Moses Moody? Moody projects better.
Oh, man, another tough one. So I know I've said Moses Moody. I think Will Richard has a little bit more upside and a little bit more fantasy game when he gets it rolling, but he also has a much, much lower floor. So if you're in large field GPPs, why not take a shot on Will Richard?
Derek's asking my favorite center for DK tournaments. Officially, I did my research. I'm playing a bunch of stuff on Underdog, but I do not like hosting and playing up, on the show, being on the bell. I'm not playing on DK tonight. I'm not doing it because I thought we were going to get Embiid news when we got it, and I didn't want it to scramble on the show, and I didn't want it to hinder my hosting abilities, yada yada. So I just did not play tonight. So I cannot give you an answer. Wouldn't make one up. So Noto, Keith wants to know, optimizers give me 60% Horford. Is that an issue? I think that's too high.
It's too much for me. I mean, good game from him is probably 24 to 25. I don't know. I don't think he's gonna break the slate. So I would bump that down a little bit.
Yeah, that is where I'm at as well. Chop, is Oso playable in cash on DK? I don't think so.
I like him.
But for
cash is a tough one.
Yeah, I don't really play cash anymore, but
for officially we're giving him 21 minutes and about a 15-point projection as a median projection. I mean, I would say no as a cash game play. Like something's not right. He's not landing in the optimals on right. What's that?
Right. Horford is probably the better cheap guy for cash.
Yes. Yeah. I know it's a little bit different as far as the price, but I would prefer Horford for sure. Don Yeezy wants to know, Chop, do we like Indiana or Miami? Who's winning the game?
Man, that's a good one. It's college football, man. I couldn't start. I've already said, like, Miami either wins or Indiana wins by like 28 points. I'm going to say if Carson Beck does not turn the ball over, I think Miami can pull the upset here. But Hoosiers hang banners out of respect. He's in the chat, and I'm not going to pick against his Indiana team, but I do think there's a path where Miami just takes care of the ball, gets pressure on Mendoza, strong running game. They have a mammoth offensive line. They can definitely pull the upset here.
I'm told the under might be sharp tonight. It did drop a point.
Sure. Absolutely.
I think it was 47.5 last I saw. It's 46.5.
Bunch of grinded outs. Yeah.
No. This is from the Discord channel. Beaner and wants to know Maxi. This is FanDuel tournaments. Maxi or Curry? Maxi or Curry? FanDuel tournaments.
Ooh, it's close. I'm still ranking Curry slightly higher. Although I like him more on DraftKings with 3 points, but yeah, give me Curry still.
So here was the 3v3 Noto from Achilles. Martin Horford. There's Martin Horford and Embiid, right? Martin Horford and Embiid versus Oso, Peyton, and Maxi. I think it's the first one.
Yeah, the second one's more GPP. I like the first one for cash.
Any love for Nembhard, Chop? Beaner wants to know any love for Nembhard today?
He's always solid. I mean, never really spectacular, but he's solid. I mean, if that's one of your last pieces in, I have no problem with it.
Love, maybe not love. Somebody asked about his teammate Furphy. We have an interest in Furphy, Chopper, the Aussie?
No, not really.
Are you playing the showdown for college football? They're asking your captain for Indiana, Miami. You playing that stuff there, Chopper?
I am playing. This is a tough one, man. Slow-paced defensive struggle could be, but I think the one path for Miami is that running game. So Mark Fletcher would be a captain on that build. And for Indiana, it's probably still got to be Mendoza spreading it out. And if somehow they can't generate pressure, that's their path. So Mendoza on one side, Mark Fletcher on the other.
So, Noto, somebody asked before for Brooklyn, they have 10 guys. Do we think Danny Wolf closes if they get blown out? Decent chance.
Yeah, probably.
I think so. I mean, wouldn't be Porter, wouldn't be Claxton, wouldn't be Clowney, wouldn't be Mann. So 5 of Powell, Williams, Wolf, Traore, Martin, Wilson. 5 of those 6, I think, is how that would go. Yeah. All right.
I like the thought process behind that.
I mean, you work backwards on it, right? If there's only 10. Let's see. Noto, question for you from the YouTube. Podzimski, any interest in pods for DK tournaments?
Yeah, I think you can throw him in there. I think he's going to be one of the lower-owned Warriors guys.
You guys are each making one lineup. So who is the player, Noto, right now, currently as your lineup stands, you're most afraid of not having in your lineup?
Probably Maxi.
Chop, your answer?
I do not have Maxi or Embiid right now. So it'd be one of those guys, yeah.
You're rooting for a blowout in that game.
I just couldn't get it in with the build I wanted.
Spoiler, by the way, I think Embiid sits tomorrow and George plays. There you go. Just my guess. I think they're just going to flip it. And, this is the start of 3 and 4. Just my guess. Let's say Chop in the chat. MHDU wants to know Wolf or Horford in tournaments. Who do you prefer amongst those two?
I mean, I do not like either one of them. Not typically a fan of Horford and Wolf. I need a few more injuries, but in this case, I'll lean on Horford.
Feeling all right says checking out the show for the first time. Well, welcome. Large field tournaments here, Noto. This is gross. Just be ready you're going to be in the mud on this one. Holland and Moody versus Pelle Larsson and Will Richard. Again, Holland, Moody versus Larsson and Richard.
I don't hate it. I like Moody a lot. And Holland, his game log is pretty nice. So I'm going to go with that first one. And welcome. Right. Thanks for watching.
CW wants to know, can we play Will Richard? He's, again, people are just trying to find value anywhere. Chop, Will Richard. Can we play Will Richard on DK? You can play him.
Sure.
Comfortable? Yeah,
you never know. He's fine. He can produce if given the opportunity.
Where's Kuminga going to go? Does it matter? Like, they really screwed that situation up. Like, he's just relegated. I guess he'll never play a minute again for Golden State. Is that fair to assume?
Yeah, he's cooked.
Yeah. And what happened to his trade value? It's just gone. Well, we'll see. So Oso versus Post is a question here, Noto. DK tournaments, who do you prefer amongst, and again, this is all the guys under 4K that feel kind of shaky. Who do you prefer amongst Post and Oso?
Yeah, you know my answer. I like Oso. He's in my lineup right now, so see how it goes.
All right, I got let's see, looks like a 2v2 here tournaments. Let's see. Oubre, this is FanDuel tournaments, Chop. Oubre, Mitchell versus Pods and Traore. Oubre, Mitchell.
Oubre Mitchell.
Right.
Oubre Mitchell.
Will you play Porter with potential blowouts? I mean, you could play him. I wouldn't not play him because the game might blow out. What is an 8-point line or something like that? 10-point line?
I wouldn't. That's not a determining factor for me not to play him.
Let's see, about 3 minutes to go. Frederick wants to know this is for Noto DK tournaments. Pascal or Butler. I think I know where you're going.
I mean, I got Butler, but he's going to be way higher owned, so I don't hate Pascal tonight.
Let's see. I'm taking a peek at the ownership stuff. We did get what was the last batch of ownership? Okay, so we got a new update as well. And I think your instincts are correct. Yeah, Pascal on DK 15%, Butler 35, so 2.5 times, and I think that's the same thing playing out on FanDuel as well. Any questions coming in here in the Discord? No. 2 minutes to go. People are talking about the national championship game. Should be a fun one for sure. Who's winning the Super Bowl? Give me that. Who are the two teams? How about what are the two teams moving on?
I'll go Pats and Rams, and I'm gonna go Rams.
Yeah, it feels like Rams and Seattle is kind of the Super Bowl. Feels like it's kind of the Super Bowl. How lucky, by the way, is Kirkwood and the Patriots catch another break just for Denver fans have 45 minutes to be excited, 45 minutes to celebrate, and then Bo Nix. Chop, you got an answer? Super Bowl?
Well, Dean, the minute that they said Bo Nix is out, Peyton came out the press conference, it dropped, and I was ran to the sports book thing, and I was let me see if I could find the right prop, and I did. NFC to win the Super Bowl, and I laid a bunch on it. Because whoever gets it was already minus 200, but that's okay. It's just, I think it's going to be Seattle versus Denver, and I think Seattle is going to boat race them, but the Rams would also boat race whoever makes it. There's just different levels to those two conferences and those four teams. But Seattle's playing way too well right now. The Rams, I'm just not. That defense has struggled for over a month now. I can't depend on it, but I do think Denver can at home. Listen, Drake May, he's gotten away with a lot of stuff in the postseason because the opposition has been so weird, injuries and C.J. Stroud and all that other stuff. He won't get away with it against Denver, so we'll see.
So you think Denver wins? They're 5.5-point dogs here at home. You think they're going to pull it off?
Absolutely. What would that spread be? I was so curious what would that spread would be if Bo Nix had never got hurt. What would that spread? It couldn't have been New England minus more than a field goal. There's no way. It would be at least at worst a pick 'em, and I don't even think it would be that. Right?
Yeah. Yeah,
so
I would have
seems like
Denver by one. Maybe Denver by
a lot
one.
of points for Bo Nix, and I just don't think Bo Nix is all that great anyway. So we'll see.
Yeah, is he worth 6 points? It's a good question, and it's also the follow-up question is how good is Stidham or how bad is Stidham is the follow-up question. And we've seen him. He's had a cup of coffee. I think he's won one game with New England 4 years ago, right? 5 years ago, whatever it was. Yeah. And what if Denver makes it to the Super Bowl? They're double-digit dogs, right? They're 11, 12, 13-point dogs versus Seattle or the Rams, I feel like. Is that fair to say?
Definitely.
No.
Oh, what a bummer. Was it a catch?
No way.
I don't think it was.
Reception.
What a crappy way to go out.
No way, definitively. I can't say definitively either way. Just whatever they called the field probably stays, but
no
way.
You talk about Brandon Cooks.
Yeah. Have you not seen it slow down? There was no way.
No way. So
very much could have been.
I'll just put it like that. I know we're at zero, so it doesn't matter. But if you could go into the Photoshop on that video and just Photoshop out the defender and just follow Tyreek Hill in the ball, there's no way you would say that was a catch. Brandon Cooks, they both look the same. You know what I'm saying? Short and fast. Brandon Cooks, by a very underrated receiver. But if you could Photoshop out the defender and just, Cooks, there he is falling to the ground. Oh, the ball's out that way. There's no way you would call that a catch. So why would you call it a catch just because the defender ripped it out. Like I don't see it.
Did Chop convince you, Noto?
I mean, I was already on Chop's side, so yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I wish Buffalo would have won, but
yeah, people. Well, they should just let they tied regulation. Everybody wants to see Buffalo's more fun. Just let Buffalo go. Like who says no? Outside of people living in Colorado, just let them. Much better game, right? Josh Allen would, he wouldn't be as sad. The coach wouldn't be fired.
Denver can be in the, AFC Championship next year. Just let Buffalo go this year.
Let them play in the Pro Bowl. Like give them like they can be in the flag football team or whatever they do these days. There is a question here coming in. Don Yeezy's players haven't started just yet, so I'll ask it. Davion Mitchell, this is the late game here, Noto. Mooney or Mitchell on DK? Who do you prefer amongst those two?
Mitchell.
All right. Appreciate y'all listening. Y'all watching. Hit that like button on the way out. Good luck. Win some money tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night. I've not checked the schedule, but I presume it's a full-on slate. We'll start 5 o'clock on the East Coast. We'll be back. That was Noto. That was Chop. I was Dean. Go Miami. Shout out to producer Steve. We're out of here. Oh!